Thank you very much, and dear audience, both here present and around the world. It's a privilege for me on the behalf of the Finnish government to talk to you about the global challenges related to the use of water and efficiency in water usage. And since this is a webinar, it's quite clear to say that in this globalized world today, our challenges are also in the area of environment very much global. So resource use and the use of water is a global issue where we need to have local solutions that affect the global availability of water and the availability of clean water as well. So this is an issue which is very, very good to tackle in this kind of format. If you look at the lack of water, even water crisis, it is already a reality in large parts of the world. Almost 1/5 of the world's population live in areas of water scarcity. It is estimated that 2 out of every 3 people will live in water-stressed areas by the year 2025. So that is in very near future. Also in Europe, water scarcity already affects at least 11% of the European population, and the demand for water continues to grow, while the availability of fresh water is expected to decrease. Strikingly, half of water-stressed river basins are expected to be in the developed north in 2030. So all in all, population growth, urbanization, increased consumption and production, and also climate change all add to the pressures on water. By 2030, the world will need at least 50% more food, 45% more energy, and 30% more water, all at a time when environmental boundaries are throwing up new limits to supply already today. So if we continue with business as usual, in 2 decades we will have a globally 40% less freshwater resources available that is needed. So this is the huge main challenge that we have. The Rio Summit reaffirmed last June that water is at the core of sustainable development. Water is part of a number of key global challenges, and it is of critical importance in the successful implementation of the 3 dimensions of sustainable development, that is, the economic, the environmental, and social. One of the most significant outcomes of Rio +20 was the decision to define sustainable development goals. Looking at the future water scenarios, there is no doubt that water should be among these goals, and it was one of the areas where Finland put most focus in the work in preparation to Rio, because via the usage or the definition of the sustainable development via the use of water, we can actually address all the issues of sustainable development. It's clear that we need new economic solutions to use water in a way that we are within the planetary boundaries and we protect the ecosystems and stop negative changes in our environment that affect our economies. And also when it comes to human development, it's clear that the availability of water is also a human right and a basic need to be able to successfully develop in a society. So key elements in defining water-related goals are universal access to safe drinking water and sanitation, development of integrated water resources management and efficiency plans, and reduction of water pollution. Vital role of ecosystems supporting living conditions should also be emphasized, and the effective use of water resources is a key way to achieving these goals, both when it comes to the use of water in agriculture, industry, and also in human consumption. In this particular context, integrated water resources management becomes most vital. This is because applying integrated water resources management at the basin level, based on a participatory process where local people are also involved, has proven successful in managing growing water use pressures, maintaining ecosystems, and allocating sustainable use also in the long term. We need to know what we have in order to use them in an efficient manner. So we need to also improve water efficiency, but it alone is not enough to safeguard access to clean water. We must also reduce water pollution to prevent the deterioration of water courses and to maintain ecosystems. It has been estimated that globally about 80% of wastewater from human settlements and industrial sources is still, even today, discharged to the environment without treatment. Expanding access to sanitation is important to improve the water quality and safeguard people's health. There are still 2.6 billion people in the world without proper sanitation. So it's quite clear that we need to have economic solutions to address these issues in all countries, in all development phases, and in all kinds of industries. Efficient water use is a necessity to address the global water challenges, is the main solution here. To achieve water and food security for a growing world population in the context of climate change, new solutions are quite clearly needed. Improving water efficiency is one of the key issues for managing the increasing pressures on water. Improving water efficiency should be mainstreamed in all sectors. If we are able to mainstream water efficiency systematically, we will also be able to strengthen the resilience of societies and ecosystems to risks such as climate change. Efficient water use is particularly important in the agriculture sector, which actually consumes about 70% today of the global freshwater use. Industry can contribute in many ways to energy and resource efficiency, both when it comes to usage of water resources within industries, but also as new economic solutions in the whole wide spectrum of how we use water in agriculture, industries, and human settlements. Virtual water embedded in traded agricultural and industrial products should also be considered. Both virtual water importers and exporters share the responsibility of not depleting water resources in the exporting countries. Mismanagement and waste of water in water-scarce countries could have negative impacts on local development. And it's also already quite clear that in many countries, issues related to security and also destabilizing of the whole of the society has to do with lack of water and lack of water to agriculture, therefore lack of food. The interface between science and policy also should be strengthened. Management of limited water resources cannot be sustainable if we don't consider the whole water cycle and the linkages between managing water demand, protecting water ecosystems, and improving the availability of clean water. So if we look at Finnish experiences, we are actually one of the few countries in the world, the whole of the world, fortunate enough to have sufficient clean water for drinking and other uses. There aren't that many countries in the world who actually have this kind of a situation. So although we are blessed with plentiful reserves of fresh water, our good situation is also the result of long-term sustainable management and protection of these valuable resources. It has not been that long ago since many of our waters were badly polluted by wastewater discharges from communities and industries. Like some 30 years ago, we were facing similar challenges that many countries are doing today. To preserve the ecological status of our waters will take effective proactive strategies and actions. Thanks to long-term water protection work, the pollution of water bodies from point sources declined in Finland during the 70s and the 80s. A true success story is seen in how municipal and industrial wastewater loads have dropped to a fraction of what they were at the beginning of the 1970s when this work was begun. And this was a result of advanced wastewater treatment and closed production cycles that also generate energy and resource savings. So all in all, in Finland, we moved in the usage of water into a more resource-efficient economy already quite early, and these are investments that are bearing fruit even today. Because of these reductions in point source discharges, the water quality has improved in many areas which earlier were badly polluted. Also, Finnish-Russian partnership for improving the state of the Baltic Sea is one example how to promote water protection in practice. During the more than 20 years of this cooperation, over 100 projects have been implemented. As a result, the state of the Gulf of Finland is actually visibly better today than it has been in the last 20 years, because of annual reductions of 5,000 tons in the nitrogen load and 2,000 tons in the phosphorus load, and still more are emerging today via cooperation in this field. Green economy is also needed for improving resource efficiency and promoting sustainable consumption and production patterns. It serves also in tackling climate change and reducing water pollution, as well as for using and managing natural resources in a sustainable and socially responsible manner. A particular challenge is to consider the nexus of water, energy and food security, based on an integrated assessment of challenges and opportunities. All these three need to be fully integrated together in a sustainable whole in order not to hinder development in other sectors while searching for solutions in one. The limits to water resources and impacts on water quality should be considered, therefore, in this totality. To promote water efficiency and green economy, we need better tools also to enhance economic activities. And these tools are environmental accounting tools, including a water footprint, public awareness of water use, of consumer products and of services, water pricing, charges and taxes also on water use where needed in order to measure and cost effectively use water resources. And also tools for assessing and improving water and resource efficiency and in many ways to measure the use of water. So therefore, if we look at the totality of challenges that we are facing and solutions that we need to put in place, it's quite clear that there are multiple technological and economic possibilities in this transformation. It is not only about reversing negative environmental trends, but also creating growth and jobs and stimulating investments. All in all, it's when it comes to use of water, energy, and maintaining food security, it is all about finding a new way to create sustainable growth. Because with the current pattern of growth and usage of resources, growth is not possible in the long term. Basically, because the environmental boundaries are there already to be seen. So therefore, we can see that economic activity in this field is expanding very rapidly. The business is already there. The share of European water sector export is about 100 billion euro a year, covering about a third of the world market. The Finnish cleantech sector has a good global reputation and a leading position in many areas of application. As a part of cleantech, water is a key area where Finnish expertise is well established and developing in all these different key areas of water use. Issues such as integrated water resources management, water and wastewater treatment, efficient industrial processes, as well as ICT-related areas such as measuring, monitoring, and controlling technologies are core competences in Finland. Quite often the solutions for better water efficiency are simple. For example, fixing leaking water pipes would solve water problems in many places. It is also important to note that it is possible to green the existing industries and jobs. Actually, the green industries are often developed inside the conventional ones due to the environmental demands and regulations. For example, inside the forest and energy sectors in Finland, more and more applications are coming from the efficient use of these resources and environmental technologies. So it's quite clear that greening the economy is not about changing to new spheres of economic activity. It's about changing the old ones to more sustainable and more dynamic when it comes to sustainable growth. To end, I would like to also raise some issues on the European Union level. The EU is working for future water policies within the whole of the European Union in an integrated manner. EU Commission published last year a blueprint to safeguard Europe's water resources. The aim of the blueprint is to tackle the obstacles which hamper to safeguard Europe's water resources. EU's water policy has been successful in helping to protect our water resources. However, still more than half of the surface bodies in Europe are reported to be in less than good ecological status. Worrying trends show the increase of water scarcity and stress, which is expected to affect in 2030 about half of EU river basins. Climate change is affecting an increase in desertification in many parts of Europe, and this also needs to be addressed. So, to respond to all these challenges, in addition to improving water allocation based on ecological flow, water efficiency measures should be taken to save water and, in many cases, to save energy too. Developing water accounts at river basins and sub-catchment level can contribute towards helping to solve water scarcity problems, for example, by better analysis of water stress. The blueprint emphasizes the need to improve the efficiency of water use. Water efficiency targets should be developed for the river basins which are water stressed. Such targets should address all the main water-using sectors. This could yield water and energy savings, benefiting the water ecosystems, limiting costs, and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Fostering water efficiency in the building sector in water-related products are included in the eco-design working plan as well. Energy savings estimated for taps and showers are equivalent to around 3.5% of total residential energy use, or around 1% of total energy use in the whole of the EU. Measures to decrease leakage from water distribution networks is important because the leakage rates can be, in some European countries, even more than 50%. In Finland, this is 21%. So just to fix this actually makes our water use a lot more efficient. The blueprint, together with the river basin management plans, can be a useful instrument towards achieving a good water quality in all lakes, rivers, coastal waters, and groundwater in Europe. This requires, of course, input from all European countries, stakeholders, and the scientific community. Therefore, sustainability and efficiency with smart water usage is most welcomed as an initiative to contribute to this effort. So, all in all, if we look at what challenges we have when it comes to economic growth, the limits of environment, addressing climate change and the loss of biodiversity, and when it comes to getting access to water as a human right and a basic need for all our societies, it's quite clear that we have a number of challenges ahead of us, but at the same time we have already almost in all relevant sectors already the technologies in place, or at least the knowledge to build these technologies to address this total challenge of making sure that our water use is sustainable in the long term. So it's quite clear that when it comes to the efficient use of water, economy and environment go hand in hand already today, and this is a process which we intend to increase in putting into practice both in Finland and globally. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Niinistö, for a very inspiring speech. We are facing grand challenges, and in many cases those are global challenges, but the solutions can be really local, and sharing of best practices is a good way also to kind of collaborate with the global scheme. And Finland is a small country with abundant water resources, but still rich in water efficient technology. I think we are welcoming the opportunity to be a partner and a participator in this global water related new business ecosystems that are emerging. Thank you.